Samsung has officially launched the Galaxy S24 series, but which color should you get? We're going to break down everything you need to know about the colors for the Galaxy S24, S24 Plus, and S24 Ultra. The first thing that you need to know about the Galaxy S24 series colors is that the Galaxy S24 Ultra has different colors from the Galaxy S24 and the Galaxy S24 Plus. This is due to the Galaxy S24 Ultra having a titanium construction, while the other two have aluminum construction. Now, just because the colors have different names doesn't mean they're wildly different. There are 4 colors in each line, and all of them kind of line up. Let's start with the colors for the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. The 4 colors you have to choose from here are amber yellow, marble gray, cobalt violet, and onyx black. Each of these 4 colors is fairly muted. Even the onyx black is not quite black, more like a dark gray, and the amber yellow is kind of like a dull yellow. Same thing with the cobalt violet and the marble gray. In fact, the marble gray I would more chalk up to a white colorway, but it's gray if you look at it in certain light. Meanwhile, the colors for the Galaxy S24 Ultra all start with the word titanium, which makes sense considering the titanium construction of the phone itself. The colors are titanium yellow, titanium gray, titanium violet, and titanium black. Although these colors are definitely just as muted as the ones we find on the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus, they are slightly different, and the titanium rails are exceptionally different when compared to the rails on the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. Let's start with the colorway that is the most similar between the two devices, with onyx black and titanium black. If you look at the backs of the phones, the black that they used here is very much the same across both lines. Remember though that it's not quite black, it's much more like a dark gray. As far as the rails go, the onyx black on the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus definitely has a little bit more of a bluish hue to it when compared to the rails of the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Once again, the titanium construction is likely a major factor here. Remember that regardless of which Galaxy S24 Ultra you choose, all the rails are going to have a matte finish, which definitely looks great and feels great in the hand. You can definitely see that on display when you look at the onyx black and the titanium black right next to each other. Moving on to the next most similar colorway, we have marble gray and titanium gray. Both of these are going to be very light grays, bordering on silver or white, especially when you look at the marble gray phone. In the right light, this might be considered a white phone. Meanwhile, the Galaxy S24 Ultra has a slightly darker gray on the back. When you look at the rails though, that's when things get very different. The titanium rails around the Galaxy S24 Ultra are much darker than the ones you find on the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. When we move on to the yellow models, we see big differences between the Galaxy S24 Ultra and the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus. You'll notice immediately that the Galaxy S24 Ultra's yellow is much darker, whereas the yellow on back of the Galaxy S24 and Galaxy S24 Plus is a lot brighter by comparison. But don't be fooled, that yellow is still very dull. It just looks a lot brighter compared to the Galaxy S24 Ultra. The rails around the Galaxy S24 Ultra on the titanium yellow model are very, very different, giving it a very distinct look that makes it almost look like it's a slightly different phone. Finally, we have the violet models. The cobalt violet and the titanium violet are so dramatically different from one another that I would have thought that these were not the same phones from the same family. The titanium violet is much, much darker than the cobalt violet, and the rails surrounding the Galaxy S24 Ultra give it such a distinct look when compared to the rails of the Galaxy S24 and the Galaxy S24 Plus that it's impossible to think that these phones came from the same exact family. There is one other color aspect that you have to keep in mind when you're buying a Galaxy S24 model, specifically the Ultra model, which is the color of the S Pen. There are 2 different colors for the S Pen, and which one you get depends on which colorway you choose. So if you choose a gray or a violet color, you're going to get a light gray S Pen. But if you choose a yellow or a black color, you're going to get a dark gray S Pen. The dark gray S Pen with the yellow model in particular is quite jarring when you take it out of the phone for the first time. It just seems like you got the wrong S Pen, at least that's what it felt like to me. I do want to point out that we expect Samsung to launch some colorways that are exclusive to Samsung.com. In other words, you wouldn't be able to buy these in stores, you would have to get them directly from Samsung. We expect those colors to be an orange, a green, and a blue. I hope this video gives you a better idea about which Samsung Galaxy S24 model you want to buy. why. As a quick recap, the Galaxy S24 series in the United States starts at $799 for the Galaxy S24, $999 for the Galaxy S24 Plus, and $1,299 for the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Obviously, that Galaxy S24 Ultra has gone up in price a bit from last year's model, but we have a full video going over why that $100 increase is there. Before you rush off to pre-order one of these phones, be sure to jump down into the comments and let us know which one you're going to get. Which color is your favorite? I want to know, and I'll tell you mine is the marble gray for the Galaxy S24 and the Galaxy S24 Plus. For the past maybe 5 years, all my phones have been black, and this phone looks classy and distinct enough to maybe draw me away from the black phones. But that's just my opinion. Let us know yours in the comments, and be sure to stay tuned because we have a ton of Galaxy S24 coverage coming your way.